Ymedia Group, the fastest growing media group in North America.
Hello and welcome back to Ymedia Newsroom. I am Ramona Singh, and there are rumors on Parliament Hill, and more specifically when it comes to the Liberal Party, and this has to do with a Liberal minister. So we know that this Liberal Party has changed since Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to Liberal Party to Prime Minister Mark Carney's Liberal Party. Lots of changes there, and to that there is rumors and speculations that there's going to be a minister who's going to leave caucus. And this is symbolizing that there must be some sort of tension happening in caucus. We brought this to you just a week ago as well, that the Prime Minister, after signing that historic deal with Alberta when it comes to carbon capture and expanding the pipeline in Canada, essentially had 14 MPs who sent him a letter with their concerns on climate change and Canada's position on the entire thing, and believing that this deal agreement that the Prime Minister did with the province of Alberta on some of those things is essentially setting back Canada on its targets for climate change and carbon capture and everything else. Now, the rumor there is that, there you go, you saw the picture, Stephen Guilbeault could potentially leave caucus. This is a rumor, and this has been swirling around, and this is what we're watching. And if he does, he is the environment minister, and this would symbolize something much larger that's happening globally, right? You have this collision of climate ambitions. Remember the Paris agreements that were signed, in 2016, and what is the economic reality? You had, President Trump scrapped this whole EV electric vehicle ambition, and that set things off chains of events here, even in Canada, right? With the Stellantis investment of $5 billion by the federal and provincial government, and they're shutting their doors. Even Honda for their EV plans saying we're going to go with a hybrid model, right? So you have that taking place. So Prime Minister Mark Carney is moving more towards what he calls a pragmatic governing approach when it comes to investments, energy security, and industrial competitiveness. And what he's saying is energy now is part of Canadian sovereignty, right? And then you have, from that, you have liberals who are in two camps, right? There's the climate first liberals, and then there is the technocratic economic centrist liberals in the caucus. And to that, you're seeing this come up because some of them are saying, you know what, we are seeing inflation costs go up. We know that 40% usually is contributed because of the energy prices. They're seeing grocery prices increase. They have their constituents calling them, and their MP office is saying life is unaffordable under your government. So all of that's taking place. So now you have Stephen Guilbeault that is saying that he wants to send a strong signal to the Liberal coalition, saying that it's fractured under these pressures of where he sees now the Liberal government going under the new leader compared to the previous one. And to that, we know the separatist movement has been increasing in Alberta. And because of that, you have the agreement that Premier Smith made with Ottawa with Prime Minister Mark Carney. And so now we have a video, which I want to leave you with, where the Premier is essentially addressing those 14 MPs that sent a letter to Prime Minister Mark Carney and what her thoughts are on about it when it comes to the economy, and especially when it comes to Alberta and job security, and when it comes to the oil and gas sector. So I'm going to leave you with that, and that's all the time we have. We'll play it, and then we'll end today's show. Take a look.
To blame are the 14 cowards who signed a letter to the Prime Minister trying to derail our MOU. They should man up and say who they are and say why they don't want this deal to go ahead and why they don't want us to work together to try to solve the legitimate issues that their party created. I think it's people like Avi Lewis who continues to campaign to keep all our fossil fuels in the ground. I think it's leadership in British Columbia who continues to try to put barriers in the way of us getting our product to market. That is the reason we are having this crisis right now. And I would say, to quote the Prime Minister, people do no longer want to hear what politicians are against. They want to hear what they are for. So I would ask those who have created the environment that we find ourselves in to work constructively, as the Prime Minister and I are, to try to address these legitimate issues, solve them, get Canada working again, get Canada growing again, get jobs created again, get revenues flowing into coffers again, and stop being obstructionists. That's what's created the situation we find ourselves in today.